This is Late Tea Time, the golf betting podcast that finds the best betting value closer to the first shot being struck than anyone else.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.
And hello, everybody. Welcome along to the latest edition of the Late Tea Time podcast. Late Tea Time podders out there, welcome along. As you can see us live on the videos on Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube, or you can follow us in the more conventional, traditional way on the audio feeds later. But I'm going to bring him straight in. I'm James, he's Dave, and we're going to give him a big round of applause today because we had a winner last week, DT. Hello.
Hello. Yes, we had our top 20 bet. We don't put up too many bets. We're quite selective, but we put up Harry Hall for a top 20 in Las Vegas, and he did it. He finished tied 15th or 16th, was it? And landed that 15-2. So he had a good final round, 64. It kind of worked out. He started fast, playing with his mate, Taylor Montgomery. They went to Las Vegas Uni together, UNLV, and enjoyed each other's company, and then he just kept it going for 72 holes, and had a nice finish for the second year running. So in hindsight, it was a good price, and we landed it.
Yeah, indeed. It's always good to get a 15-2 on the board. Harry Hall last week doing us no harm at all. Have you noticed I've got a different backdrop today?
Yes, I have.
We're on the golf course, DT.
Yeah, where are we? I
am not quite sure about that bit, but you've driven it down the right and I'm on the left.
Okay.
The looks of it. But I've got a few which we could maybe alternate as we go through the next few weeks, rather than the black background that we've had before. But anyway, the reason we don't rest on our laurels on the Late Tea Time podcast. We look for more betting value in the week ahead, and we have two very good tournaments coming up here: the ZOZO Championship stateside and the Andalucia Masters in Spain. Where would you like to start, Dave?
Well, not really stateside, because the ZOZO is in Japan.
All right.
Yeah.
Rewind. The ZOZO Championship in Japan. Where would you like to start, Dave?
So, well, let's start by saying get your bets on pretty soon, because Japan is a lot of hours ahead, isn't it, of the United States? It's 7 ahead of us. So you want to be getting your bets on before you go to bed tonight in that one. So, yeah, so that's where we'll go first. The good news is they've interviewed a lot of players. It's attracted a big, high-quality PGA Tour field, a big purse. So your mate, Colin Morikawa,
Colin.
Japanese ancestry, as Xander Schauffele. So there's a few there. But the one I've landed on...
Shall I go through the top end of the market first?
Yeah, you do that, yeah.
Xander Schauffele, he's 8-1. You mentioned Tim. His heritage, and Sunjay Im is 11s. You've got Colin Morikawa at 14s. Tom Kim is there at 14s as well. Best price of 14s for Hideki Matsuyama. It will be a local favourite. Cameron Young is 16s. 20-1 for Victor Hovland, another one of my mates. And Tyrrell Hatton is in there at 25s. The rest are 28 or bigger.
Yeah. So first, a bit of news that... so we're recording this on Wednesday, as we normally do, to get the latest news. There's a Twitter page called Hideki Matsuyama Tracker, who follow all his updates. And I think a lot of people want to back him this week, because they played it twice at this course, Narashino, and he's come first by 5 shots last time, and then he was runner-up to Tiger Woods in 2019 when they played. They didn't go to Japan in the pandemic year. So Matsuyama's got a first and a second, but the news is he pulled out of the Pro-Am with some sort of injury problem. Now, he's had neck issues in recent times. I did see a hint that it was maybe back and leg issues this time. I don't know whether it's super precautionary, but I think there have been a lot of pressure on him to play the Pro-Am because, in his own country. So maybe it was a little bit more serious than you think. Anyway, it's just a warning. It doesn't mean to say he's going to sort of be wandering around going, but it could mean that
But if you see him wandering around going, you know
but
why?
It sometimes goes the other way, and that old classic, beware the injured golfer. Because
so you're not taking that as a reason to back against him then?
If he was on my shortlist, though, he would be bumped down a level. I mean, I wasn't going to pick him anyway. It's just out there for people. You know, say we get to Saturday and he's pulled out. At least we've said, at least we've given you fair warning.
So this Twitter feed that tracks him, they've not actually got a kind of thing injected into him to actually follow him his every move. It's just basically surfaces, they notice it.
Yeah, I mean, lots of golfers seem to have got their own tracker person. There's a Jordan Spieth one. They do tend to be on the ground, so they do tend to be there. I remember, I think it was in the US Open, Jordan Spieth had, was it food poisoning or just an upset stomach? And the guy who was tracking him actually was at the course, photographing him leaving. And so they can be quite good to follow, these guys, because they do make it their business to find out everything that the average person might not find.
So Hideki's maybe just want to kind of like push to the side a little bit. Yeah. So where does that take us?
So obviously, so we're in Japan, which means quite a lengthy flight for a lot of the US guys. So the one who's, and a lot of the interviews are fairly bog standard, but the one who came out with the best stuff was one of your mates, Victor Hovland. Yeah. So I've picked out some of his best lines from his press conference, which I shall read to you now. So he starts by saying, I'm a big fan of golf in Japan. I think the course is really good. I enjoy tree line courses. I feel like I've put in some good work, and I feel my game is in a good spot to get a win here and validate that. It's my 6th time in Japan. I've been to Tokyo, my 3rd time here, and then I've been to Nagoya 3 times for a junior event. I just love this event. He says, I was jumping at it to go play. I think this golf course suits me well. You have to drive it well, iron it well, and that really suits me. And then he goes on, because of it's a tree line course. He says, I like tree line courses because you have to hit it. There's dog legs left and right. There's usually a shot shape that fits the hole better. Now, in my career, I've played a little cut shot left to right, but I would now say, as I've matured as a player, I'm able to hit more draws, so right to left as well. So I don't see there's a hindrance anymore. I feel like I'm a lot more prepared to play this course. And then the other thing he says was, some of them seem to have arrived quite near kickoff time, right, maybe a day to acclimatize. He said, I made a conscious decision of leaving Friday morning from Oklahoma, and I got here Saturday just in the afternoon. So I've had some good time to get ready. So he's maybe arrived quite a bit in front of some of the other guys, which is all good for acclimatizing. So I thought there was some good positive lines from Hovland's press conference, and even before I read any of those, I thought his price was quite big. What have you got for me, James?
You've always got to fancy Victor Hovland, haven't you? 20-1 best price. You can get him for 6 places with Bet UK. He's 18-1, 7 places with William Hill. So you kind of take your choices there, don't you? You mentioned that it's a tree line course. That's why I picked the backdrop, of course. Yeah,
you must have known. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a 78-man field, so it's half the field than normal. There's some maybe like local players making up. So that price, I mean, you'd see that price in, you might have seen that price in in a major before on Hovland. So to get it in a limited field, and there's no Rory McIlroy, there's no John Rahm, there's no Scotty Scheffler. It's fairly thin at the front, so. I think 20-1. I'd rather, mostly we go with the places, don't you? But I'd rather go with there's something about 20-1 over 18s. I don't know what it is, but it just seems psychologically like a bigger price, even though there's only 2 points in it. But I just think getting 20-1 on Victor Hovland, who sounds confident in a limited field, I thought, good. That is good business.
We're turning into Unibet FM really at the moment, but 20-1, 6 places with Unibet. is the best way to take up Victor Hovland then for that one. Have you got anything else for these? The beautifully named, by the way, ZOZO Championship. Is there anything else there, or should we fly across towards Spain?
That's it, really. I did think about first round leader, but there seems to be a feeling that there could be some bad weather on day one, so it could get a bit messy. So just over the 4 days, let's just back Hovland to come out on top at 20s. So that's going to be our only bet there.
The Andalucia Masters then. Matt Fitzpatrick, he heads the bookies favourites. He's 11-2. He's done quite well in the last 12 months or so, hasn't he? Robert McIntyre, another one we've mentioned quite a lot on the Late Tea Time podcast, is 22-1. Ryan Fox, 25s. Rasmus Hodgaard is in there at 25s. Minwoo Lee, 25s as well. And the rest are 28 or bigger. Tell me about the Andalucia Masters. Who's going to win this one?
Before I give you a bet, you like singing.
Yeah,
you like singing, don't you? So Sam Harrop, who does all the comedy golf songs, who's just sort of taken off on Twitter. His latest one is about Bob McIntyre. Now, can you think of what song he might have set that to?
McIntyre.
Yes.
Oh,
and I've been singing Mull of Kintyre all week, or all the last few days since he put it out on Twitter, and it just scans. If you've not seen that,
is it Bob McIntyre?
So it goes with Bob McIntyre, yeah.
That's because that scans, isn't it? Bob McIntyre.
And then it's putts rolling in for a 3. My desire.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's lovely.
We'll have to get him on this pod one week.
Yeah, get him to play us in and play us out. But it's one of his best ones, I think. It's just I mean, I'm a massive Beatles fan and Paul McCartney, so to hear that one, to hear that famous Wings song is beautiful.
As you can see, I've changed the background now because we've changed tournaments. So you've now got some scope for blue sky thinking above you.
Have you got the sea there in the background?
Sea's just behind you.
Yeah. Well, we're not by the sea, I'm afraid, this week. But
so that's not the first one was appropriate. This one's not. Okay.
Yeah, we're in Andalucia in Spain. Valderrama, famous course. It held the Ryder Cup in 1997. You trying your best. Where's that?
I don't know where any of these are. I've just kind of stolen them off Google.
And they're just like free stock photos.
Yeah, but they look very nice now.
Yeah, okay. It's a nice sunset. I'll give you that. Yeah, so we're at Valderrama, beautiful course. I went there once to see it, and it's a lovely place between the cork trees, very very narrow fairways. It's a real grind. I think couple of years ago, it was won with 2 over. You don't see many tournaments won with 2 over.
No.
John Catlin.
I quite like it when they do, though.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. So Matt Fitzpatrick won it last year with 6 under, which is the same score that he shot when he won the US Open. So that kind of shows you the level of scoring we're at. Par is your friend.
He's incredibly short, Matt Fitzpatrick. Obviously, he's a very fine player, but he's best price 11-2. Nearest is the Mull of Kintyre on 22s. There's a big differential there between first and second. Yeah,
it's unusual to see it that big. Although anyone who was sort of thinking, oh, well, I don't want to back a favourite in golf, who backed John Rahm last week, his quid's in because he ran away with it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fitzpatrick wins, to be honest. It's not an official bet, but he has defended a title on the DP World Tour before. So some players just maybe don't do so well when they go back. But he won back-to-back in Cran-sur-Sierre, the European Masters. So he's done it before. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. But let's go with something I've seen recently, though. And it's a guy called Richard Mansell. Don't know if you know him.
Nigel's brother.
Well, yeah, it'd be more like his son if it was, but it's not.
It's, best price of 50-1 to win the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he can win the thing, but he's tweeted this in the last 24 hours. He says, second trip to Valderrama for me. My first, I was 11 when me and my dad qualified for the final of the Costa del Sol Masters. I remember my dad the night before the final getting me to put on the hotel marble floor, as that was what the greens would be like. Now I'm here on tour. And then, so he's nice little family story. And then and then a couple of hours later, or maybe it was before, he's tweeted a picture of, it's one of the downhill par threes. I've stood on that tee, but I can't remember what number it is. So he's tweeted a picture of this lovely course, and he's written, I think I have a new favorite golf course. So he just sounds very happy to kind of fulfill maybe something on his bucket list to be there.
I was going to say, sounds like he's living the dream this week, doesn't
it? Yeah. So, I mean, we last saw him playing at St Andrews when he was the 54-hole leader in the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship. When, by the way, he tweeted a picture of himself and his dog at the 18th. So I kind of kicked myself because I thought, oh, you know, when you just think someone's in a nice, happy place, he's at St Andrews with his dog.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a bit thin on the ground to make a bet out of it. But here he's clear. It's the same kind of vibe. He's clearly loving it to be there. Some players at this course, they think, oh, wow, this is a bit tough, isn't it? This is going to be a bit of a grind. But he looks like he's more than ready to give it a go. And he's had loads of good results this season. I'm not sure he's winning it, but we'd kick ourselves if we didn't put him up at 50-1. So we will a little bit. But I think the kind of more sensible approach would be just top 20. I think he's 21-10 for a top 20, Richard Mansell.
Yeah, Richard Mansell, you can get him best price 5-2 with either Paddy Power or Betfair.
Yeah, that'll do.
So 5-2 top 20 for Richard Mansell, as I say, 50-1 if you want to go just a little bit of a nibbly bet on him to actually to win the thing, as I described it. He is available out to 50-1 with Sky Bet 6 places, Unibet 6 places. Well, those two, Sky Bet and Unibet, the best places.
Yeah, so as I said, he was brilliant last time out when he at the Alfred Dunhill Links. I mean, that is a very different, completely different style of course. But back to Crans-sur-Sierre again, the mountain track in the Swiss Alps. So Matt Fitzpatrick won at Valderrama last year. He's won twice at Crans. So clearly there's some good correlation between those two courses. Well, Richard Mansell was third in Crans a few months ago. So hopefully the fact that he can play that tight, fiddly course well, it bodes well for his debut here. He's also finished runner-up in a Challenge Tour event in Spain, which is another little plus, if you like. So yeah, he's the one that, from what I've seen, you know, near a tee off, that I thought, oh right, yeah, I'll give him another look. And when you do look again, you start to see a few things that might be going in his favour. And the fact that he just loves the course is a really nice sign.
Well, hopefully he loves it in a few days' time as well, rather than just now. After the tournament as well as before it. So we have, 3 bets basically then this week. DT Victor Hovland, my mate, come on, Victor, 20-1, 6 places with Unibet to win the ZOZO Championship. And Richard Mansell, 2 bets with him, a nibbly bet, 50-1, 6 places with Sky Bet and Unibet to win the Andalucia Masters, and 5-2 to be in the top 20 in the same tournament. He's obviously not playing 2 different tournaments this week, so the same place, but 2 different bets on Richard Mansell. So good luck to Victor, good luck to Richard, good luck with your bets, DT.
Yeah, thank you. Can I do one more?
Go on then. I was rounding up there. Now you've extended it again.
I've just kind of thought of one. I don't want to.
Seeing as you had a winner last week, I'll let you.
Yeah, we've got a few chips to put back on the table. So this time of year, I don't know quite why, but it's a good time for favourites to win. It always has been sort of late season. So last week you've got John Rahm absolutely hacking up by 5 or 6. You've got Tom Kim in Las Vegas. He was maybe 3rd or 4th favourite. So to add to that Hovland bet, let's do a double on Hovland to win in Japan.
Yep.
And Matt Fitzpatrick to win in Spain.
So the Fitz is...
So you're going to get over 100 to 1, aren't you, on that?
So, all right. Let's
you work it out with your...
Let's put Matthew Fitzpatrick in there, 11 to 2. It's actually just gone out with William Hill. 11 to 2 with William Hill. And then if we change the event across to the ZOZO, where are you, ZOZO? Bear with me a second, caller. I will be with you shortly.
The suspense.
Yeah, go make a cup of tea while I do this. So we go into the ZOZO and we look for Victor and we stick him in as well.
What do we get?
And we get a double of 125 to 1.
Yeah, so who's that with?
Unibet.
Unibet. Yeah, so there you go. Couldn't let that pass.
So Unibet, if you want to sponsor the Late Tea Time podcast, it's all yours. And as we go forward with you every single week, as late as possible on a Wednesday, to get the very best bet, let the man next to me wrap his gargantuan golfing brain around the golfing trivia, the golfing rumour, and the stats and everything else as we go through the various tournaments. The Andalucia and the ZOZO then this week with Victor Hovland, Richard Mansell, then the combination of Hovland and Fitzpatrick carrying our cash as we go through the next few days. DT, I've already said thank you to you, but thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you out there, everybody, for watching. Always good to have you with us as we go through the golf on the Late Tea Time podcast. I'm going to play the outro music, and we will see you again around and about the same time next week. Cheers, everybody.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.